The bitter winter wind howled through the streets of Washington, D.C., sending dry leaves swirling across the sidewalks. On a worn-out wooden bench in Lafayette Park, just across from the White House, Emily Carter sat in silence, her hands shoved deep into the pockets of her thin jacket. She curled into herself, not just from the cold, but from the emptiness gnawing at her soul. 3 years ago, she was First Lieutenant Emily Carter, a decorated military officer who had led combat logistics operations in Afghanistan. Now, she was just another face in the crowd, struggling to survive in a country that had moved on without her. Emily had given everything for her country, her youth, her strength, her blood. But when she returned home, she found herself fighting a new battle, one she hadn't prepared for, the battle to find a job. Despite her impressive resume, employers saw the word veteran and hesitated. "We're looking for candidates with industry experience," they would say, or "We're concerned that military culture may not align with our corporate environment." The doors kept closing, and Emily felt the weight of abandonment pressing down on her. She had given everything for her country, and now it felt like her country had forgotten her. Her savings dwindled, bills piled up, and the eviction notice on her door was the final straw. That night, as she sat in her empty apartment, she turned on the TV. President Trump was holding a press conference, talking about job growth and the economy. Emily's heart pounded as a thought flashed through her mind, a crazy, desperate thought. She would go to the press conference. She would confront the president. She would demand a chance. The next day, Emily stood outside the hotel where the press conference was being held. Security was tight, but she had one thing no one else did: unshakable determination. She slipped past the guards, blending in with the crowd of journalists. When Trump finished his speech and prepared to leave, Emily stood up. Her voice cut through the silence like a knife. "Mr. President, I need a job." The room froze. Trump turned, his sharp eyes locking onto hers. "What did you just say?" Emily didn't waver. "I served this country for 10 years. I led soldiers in Afghanistan. But when I came home, no one would hire me. I'm not asking for pity. I just need a chance to prove that veterans are not a burden. We are this country's greatest asset." Trump studied her for a moment, then nodded. "Come up here." The room erupted in whispers as Emily walked to the podium. Trump turned to his advisors. "Do we have an open position at the Department of Veterans Affairs?" The advisors hesitated, but Trump cut them off. "She's a veteran. That's the only resume I need." He turned back to Emily. "On Monday, you will report to the Department of Veterans Affairs. We need someone who understands the problems inside the system so we can fix them." Emily's appointment sent shockwaves through the country. Some hailed it as a bold step forward, others dismissed it as a political stunt. But for Emily, it was just the beginning. She walked into the Department of Veterans Affairs on her first day, ready to fight. What she found was a system drowning in bureaucracy, a system that had failed thousands of veterans just like her. She began by tackling the backlog of claims, working tirelessly to expedite cases that had been ignored for years. She reached out to veterans, listening to their stories and documenting their struggles. She partnered with non-profits and rallied private sector support to create job opportunities for veterans. And when she faced resistance from career bureaucrats, she used the media to expose the truth. 1 year later, Emily stood on a stage inside the White House, side by side with President Trump. The room was packed with reporters, cameras flashing non-stop. Trump announced her appointment as the new Secretary of Veterans Affairs, and the room erupted in applause. Emily stepped forward, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "When I left the military, I felt invisible. But I stand here today to tell every veteran listening, you are not invisible. We will fight to ensure that every soldier who leaves the military has a clear path forward. This is not the end. This is just the beginning." Emily Carter's story is not just about one woman's fight for justice. It's a call to action for all of us. It's a reminder that we have the power to make a difference, no matter how daunting the challenge may seem. Emily's journey from the battlefield to the bureaucracy of the Department of Veterans Affairs is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of one voice to ignite a movement. When Emily stood up in that press conference and demanded a job, she wasn't just speaking for herself, she was speaking for the thousands of veterans who had been forgotten, who had been left behind by a system that was supposed to support them. Her courage and determination inspired a nation, and her relentless fight for change brought about real, tangible results. But Emily's story is also a reminder that the fight is far from over. There are still thousands of veterans out there who are struggling to find jobs, who are battling bureaucratic red tape, who are fighting to get the benefits they deserve. We cannot let their sacrifices be in vain. We must continue to fight for them, to advocate for them, to ensure that they are never forgotten. So what can we do? How can we honour the sacrifices of those who have served our country? Emily Carter's journey is a story of hope and resilience. It's a story of one woman's fight for justice and the impact that one voice can have on an entire nation. But it's also a story of the power of community, of the strength that comes from standing together and fighting for what's right. As we reflect on Emily's story, let us remember the sacrifices made by those who serve our country. Let us honour their bravery, their dedication, and their unwavering commitment to protecting our freedoms. And let us commit ourselves to ensuring that they are never forgotten, that they are always supported, and that they are given the opportunities they deserve to rebuild their lives and continue to contribute to our society. Emily Carter's story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, and a reminder that no matter how daunting the challenge may seem, we all have the power to make a difference. Let us take inspiration from her courage, and let us continue to fight for those who have given so much for our country. Together, we can create a brighter future for all veterans and ensure that their sacrifices are never in vain. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Emily Carter's incredible story. If you found this story inspiring, please share it with others, and let's continue to raise awareness about the challenges that veterans face when they return home. Together, we can make a difference. If you enjoyed the story and found it meaningful, don't forget to leave a like. It really helps us reach more people. We'd also love to hear from you. Share your thoughts and the lessons you've learned in the comments below. Your insights could inspire someone else.